So as I talked before about translation and essential tools, we're going to continue for the second slide. This slide is talking about the difference in every culture. Difference in every culture and civilizations depends on many type of things. Sometimes traditions and sometimes words and use of it. And also nowadays technology and their effect. For example, this is a sentence and its translation into Arabic. So the source is in English and the target one is in Arabic. The source said, asked about civilization. Back to him, the commander crinkly relayed a regular harvest. First to explain why not a attempt had been made to reduce a civilization loses. He shrugged his shoulder and smiled mischievously. Perhaps one had to be radical to win a war. وعندما سئل القائد عن الضحايا من المدنيين أجاب بنبرة ساخرة إنه الحصاد المعتاد. وعندما ألح السائلون عليه أن يوضح سبب عدم محاولته تقليل الخسائر المدنية هز كتفيه وابتسم ابتسامة غامضة. هل على الإنسان أن يكون بليد الإحساس حتى يكسب الحرب؟ In this translation, we can say that we have the same word correctly replayed, which translated into Arabic by this أجاب بنبرة ساخرة, because we describe the action, the way that he replayed for the question or the questionnaire of people about civilization victim. And the end of the sentence we can say correctly to win a war. هل على الإنسان أن يكون بليد الإحساس. Correctly here translated as بليد الإحساس, because we describe the feeling, not the action. From translations from English into Arabic have a different word to describe a lot of things. For example, feelings, actions, and a lot of degrees to describe the something. You have to search about the total meaning, not describe a word to another word. Because translation from a word to another word, there's no difference between you and Google Translation, because you're just like translated a literally one, word for word. So we translate a meaning for meaning, not a word for word. You have to understand the total meaning and the whole idea what it's talking about. And we are as a translator, we not just translate words. As Dr. Fasid said before, we translate feelings, translate you're the human that translate a whole culture to another one. So as in this example, we have to continue to another slide. Okay, translation of whole Quran. There is a different meanings in Quran for the word mercy, which mean in Arabic rahmah. Every sentence in Quran and every word of it contain the word mercy. Should be related to the meaning of it, not just to translate a word to another word. Specifically, that's something about religion, because non-Arabic people try to read the whole Quran in English. They have to know the meaning, what Allah meaning by these words, not just the words. You understand that mercy, which in Arabic is meaning rahmah, but is really mercy in this sentence or in this part meaning rahmah by this way, or just another thing. So let's say this is part from Quran. يبشرهم ربهم برحمة منه ورضوان وجنات لهم فيها نعيم مقيم. توبة. وفي الآية الأخرى فلما جاء أمرنا نجينا صالحا والذين آمنوا معه برحمة منا. هود. And another one واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة. And another one وإذ أذقنا الناس رحمة فرحوا بها. And another one and the last one انظر إلى آثار رحمة الله كيف يحيي الأرض بعد موتها. Every word of this has a different meaning in Arabic about the word rahmah. The context we can read rahmah, but the literally meaning in dictionary, yeah, rahmah, that's meaning that. But here the meaning is not that. The meaning behind the word, what Allah meaning at this part by rahmah. So let's just say about يبشرهم ربهم برحمة منه ورضوان وجنات لهم فيها نعيم مقيم. The word mercy here, or the word in Arabic rahmah, doesn't mean mercy by the literally meaning. Because the word rahmah, that Allah meaning in English, that this people is survived from the hell. So they deserve a haven. This is the meaning of rahmah. So when you translate from English into Arabic, it's okay for just describe by word, but in whole Quran translation from Arabic into English, you have to be very careful with your words and have to choose them by the meaning, not just by the word. Okay, we have to continue for another slide. Okay, here we can see a passage is in English, but the source of this passage is not in English. The source is in Arabic. But just you have to like check yourself how you can translate that. The master looked at parentheses existently and asked again about the time and of arrival of the customer. The boy had nothing to say. He repeated his earlier statement, combined this time, perhaps out of fear, was the word about. He was shocked at the unexpected reaction. What do you mean about 7? The master screamed. Is it 7 or not? The word stuck and the boy seared his field as such he was responsible for the customers not being on time. And interior repeated 7 by Allah 7. Melwaning, the master said in the low voice, not about 7? No, 7. The master said gently, right, off you go. The boy left the workshop quickly, leaving on the verbant haven't forgotten totally has predicament only a few minutes previously. So we have to show what the total passage meaning and what is this situation. We're gonna say the translation from English into Arabic in the next slide. So we have to continue for the next slide. Okay. Yes, this is the translation into Arabic. نظر المعلم إلى صبيه بقلق. When we use here the word معلم, but in English the word is master. Master here, it doesn't mean the teacher, or the word in Arabic doesn't mean the teacher. But in Arabic we use معلم because he teach you something, not as a teacher, as a master. So we use the word معلم. نظر المعلم إلى صبيه بقلق. The word صبي, which means the little boy or the boy that helps the master in this industry. سأله ثانية عن موعد قدوم الزبون ولم يجد الصبي ما يقوله غير ترديد ما قاله قبل وإن كان قد أردف هذه المرة ربما بسبب الخوف بكلمة تقريبا وهله رد الفعل غير المتوقع. يعني إيه الساعة 7 تقريبا؟ 7 ولا مش 7؟ This sentence translates into Egyptian Arabic. So you have to know your audience. Which audience? This Saudi Arabian audience or Egyptian one? Different types of people with the different local language. Here in Egypt, we use this is language which is translated into this sentence. يعني إيه الساعة 7 تقريبا 7 ولا مش 7. This is Egyptian Arabic. So you have to know your target audience, who these people, from where, the culture, and the words they use in daily life. If you translate this book, and this book contain just some words that you have to translate in daily life language. وانحشرت الكلمات في فم الصبي وأحس كأنما كان مسؤولا عن عدم وصول الزبون في الموعد، فعاد يقول في هلع: 7 7 والله. وأشفق المعلم على الصبي فقال في صوت خفيض. We not just say صوت منخفض بل صوت خفيض. This is a moral professional translation, and this is translation of this message from the book of the Dr. محمد عنيني. يعني إيه مش تقريبا؟ لا 7. فأردف المعلم في رقة. طب اتوكل أنت. This is also an English an Egyptian Arabic daily language. وخرج الصبي من الورشة يتواسب على الرصيف وقد نسى ما كان فيه من محنة منذ دقائق معدودة. Okay, this is the translation of the passage before from English into Arabic. And as I said before, this is from the book of Dr. Muhammad Anin, one of the biggest name in this industry. Okay, we have to continue for another slide. And what about words that come from different terms from English and coming into Arabic? This is the biggest challenge that faced people in the last century, but we found solve for this. For example, there's translators that at first translate words like communism by transcripting as it's the literally word. For example, communism, they translate into Arabic as communia. But for the first time, when you listen for communia, they don't understand which meaning. But we found that it's turned to شيوعية. And also another translator, Luis Awad, point that socialism by socialism as it in Arabic, but it turned it to be اشتراكية. And also in the novel Zainab for Dr. Muhammad Hussein Heikel, and there's two sources of in this industry. Okay, so you have to understand and research carefully about the lost meaning or the lost word that's point for this word in English, especially if you are translated from English into Arabic, because every day we have a new terms. So you have to understand or you have to explain for the Arabian audience. Okay, we have to go for another slide. Here we can see two kinds of sentence, one English and another Arabic. But the source one is in Arabic. بعض البلدان النامية تستبدل بالجلود الكبيرة والصغيرة الجلود المصنعة. But in English version, we said some developing countries exchange hides and skins for leather. But in Arabic, we have جلود كبيرة and جلود مصنعة. So when in English we say skin and leather, skin does mean your natural one, as a human or as an animal. But leather does mean in a process of industry, so it's not normal. Okay, we have to continue for another slide. Abbreviation and so forth. In the next slide, we can see a different type of abbreviations. If you have an abbreviation from English and you have to translate it into Arabic, in brackets, you have to explain what is the meaning of this abbreviation, especially if this abbreviation is not a common one. So the Arabic audience should know what do you mean by this abbreviation, but we didn't translate the letters of the abbreviation, write down as it, but we can translate the literally meaning of this abbreviation. Okay, here are some examples. The abbreviation UN, and try it like that. U dot N dot, not U dot N. And just like that, no, this is wrong. U dot N dot. This is meaning الأمم المتحدة. In practice, you have to write down like that. And also AFP, AFP وكالة الأنباء الفرنسية. DNA, and DNA is a common abbreviation. Sometimes just keep it as it, and sometimes write down the term of it. This is the term. And POWS, that mean prisoners of war, أي أسرى الحرب. And another one is répondez, s'il vous plaît, RSVB. This is a French one. This is a French abbreviation, but whatever, it's a French, Arabic, Portugal, Chinese, Korean, and so on. We have to search about the meaning of this abbreviation. And the meaning of the abbreviation depending on the context. Because sometimes one abbreviation maybe have a lot of things to point for it. Okay, the next slide is about. I have to continue for the next slide. Okay, this slide is على المترجم أن يكون واعيا كل الوعي بالسياق ولا يكتفي بالإشارات يسهل الخطأ بتفسيرها. Especially in abbreviations. For example, A.A. This is mean Los Angeles. Los Angeles. Los Angeles. This is a country in America, and also this is in America, but in UK it have a different meaning. A liberally association. Liberally association. So it depends about the country and the kind of English. What is the source of this English? Is it America or UK or another country? So the abbreviation depending on the source of the English, which country is it? Okay, we have to go for another slide. And this is also an example of English one and their translation into Arabic. And he would be regarded as outsider amongst the yuppies of the city. He had to observe himself and the way to exhausted a job and lay such the heart of Fiona. The DG special PA, if could win her over, would be assured of designing a port away from the US internist fight for the astronomically salaried job of senior assistant manager. كان يعرف أنه سيعتبر غريبا وسط الشبان الناجحين الأثرياء في حي المال والتجارة بلندن، وأنه كان عليه أن يشق طريقه بنجاح وأن السبيل إلى ذلك رضا فيونا عنه. فرضا هذه المساعدة الخاصة للمدير العام DGS تسمين فرضا هذه المساعدة للمدير العام كفيل بضمان وظيفة رئيسية له في الإدارة. PA which meaning المدير العام. فإذا نجح باستمالاتهم فسوف يضمن الحصول على وظيفة في الخارج وبذلك يبتعد عن التناحر المدمر من بين أولئك الشبان الحصول على منصب المساعد الأول المدير التنفيذي ومنصب يتقاضى شاغله مرتبا خياليا. And this is the using of the word شاغله. This is exactly the highest level professional translation. But in a low quality, maybe someone translated this sentence as هو منصب يتقاضى موظفه مرتبا خياليا. But the word شغله give you the meaning by words in Arabic with a high level quality. We have to continue for another slide. Slated against a sky brightening with Christmas morning to the two men walked on. والمعنى هنا أن الرأي سوف يظن أن الرجلان ظلا من ظلال الليل بسبب الخلفية التي تشرق فيها أضواء النهار يوم عيد الميلاد. قد ترجمت العبارة إلى التالي: واستأنف الرجلان السير ومن خلفهما يتدفق نور صبيحة عيد في السماء تحول إلى ظلين. And another one, having eliminated their enemies, the revolutionaries were themselves guillotined. وبعد أن قتل الثوار أعداءهم بالمقصلة دار الزمان هم أنفسهم. أي أننا لم نشتق من اللفظ العربية فعلا رغم إمكانية ذلك. قصل يقصل, but we say بالمقصلة. Okay, we have to continue for another one. Transformation. Transformation here does mean transforming a word from subject and from object and from a verb and adjective to another thing. For example, the word in Arabic صباحا, that's mean in English morning. The word in Arabic means صباح, which meaning in English morning. But the word صباحا in English meaning in the morning. So صباحا here, we are talking about time. So we just say in the morning. Okay, we have to continue for another one. And this seems like also like translation of the whole Quran. والحق أن الحرف العربية قد يترجم إلى عبارة بالإنجليزية مثل الظرف. وأقرأ ألا تكلم الناس 3 ليال سوية. لابد من ترجمة سويا بعبارة without nobody defect. Without nobody defect. Just only one word in Arabic سويا translated into English by 4 words. Why? To describe the meaning. As I said before, translation of the whole Quran, you have to describe the meaning, not just a word for a word. وآتيناه الحكم صبيا. صبيا تترجم when a child or as a child, and so on. And they come weeping to their father in the evening. And they come weeping to their father in the evening. وجاءوا أباهم عشاء بكيا. And they come weeping to their father in the evening. Okay, they came back in the evening to their father and wept, saying and weeping, and said. Both of them, and the end of this sentence, right to translate into English in whole Quran. Okay, we are continuing for the next slide. Cat tools. We have a different type for cat tools. For example, Trados. It's one of the famous apps for translators. This app is for free, and I prefer this app. If you just start for the first time for working translation, you can use this app. BeamQ is also an app for translator, but I didn't love BeamQ for different reasons. But because take for a long time to respond. SmartCat is the best one right now because it's free and it's a good recommendation for the junior translators. If you're a junior translator, I just recommended SmartCat for you because it's easy to use and it's for free, totally for free. And another one is MemSource. Give you a different sources for different words. You can just have a memory and a huge memory for words. You can use it back again. Okay, we are gonna continue for another slide. And also dictionaries. But right now we have electronic dictionaries. And this is a different type for dictionaries you can find on the internet. Papillon, this is a dictionary. I give you a different translation for a different types. And Linguine and Prose. Prose is a very big website That's you can find a lot of translator from different sources, languages, and for different target languages also. They're gonna share their experience in this site. So if you want to know more about the site, you can search about cruise and make an account for it. And also a customer term paces for their projects. Okay, we can continue for the next slide. And this is the end. Thanks so much for your time, everybody, and for listening. I hope this is very useful for you. And if anyone have a question, just go ahead and ask. You're always welcome.